to talk about his thoughts on the day and also to propose a toast to the 1970 Premiership team. Would you please welcome a legend of the Australian Football Hall of Fame, a legend of the Carlton Hall of Fame, Premiership captain, Big Nick, John Nicholls.
Thank you, Craig. Can you hear me? I did like the viewing of that porn star, Tim. I didn't realise you were such a good-looking bloke in those days. I've got several things I want to say, and firstly, it's great to be here. The Spirit of Carlton in the last few years has been fantastic with what they're doing for this club. And I know that we're honouring, and I'm so proud to be part of the 70 reunion celebration. But to me, in a few minutes, I've been asked also to, what does Carlton mean to me? And that's something that we haven't got enough time for today, because certainly it's over 50 years since I started with this great club. Lots of wonderful memories, ups, downs, losses, premierships. I agree with Brass that 70 was certainly a milestone in our records, and I think if you looked at a lot of things before that and after that, 70 was a great year. And I'm not taking anything away from our celebrations today, but I think it's more important at the moment in the history of Carlton to look at the bigger scene. So with that, I must also endorse the welcome to Twiggy, Tuddy, Macca. It's great to see you blokes. We have talked a lot about football, the old ones here today. I don't know whether we had more fun out of football or got more enjoyment out of it. We think we did. But there again, we didn't train 7 days a week and have all the pressures of the media on us like the boys have got nowadays. I must also say just quickly that talking about Carlton and about 70s, we've had our ups and downs in the last few years and the last few weeks. But last Friday night, to beat that mob like we did, it was magnificent. I must say that in the last several years, I know that we haven't got many players here today because they've got other commitments at the club. It's good to see Jared Waite here representing Vinnie, which is wonderful. The thing that annoys me, worries me, frustrates me more at the moment about Carlton is our lack of respect generally in the footballing public. And I know that without going right through all my 50-odd years, and I've seen a lot of good committees come and go, and I've seen a lot of good players come and go. But the lack of respect and to me the trashing of the Carlton brand in the last 10 or 15 years, since 1995, when we had that wonderful premiership win by a big margin, we're so dominant that year that the wheels fell off us. And I believe the administration and the coaching and the match committees of the 95 years onwards, that next 10 years was what put us back so far. And that sort of, you can't change things, what's happened, but you can acknowledge it, and the administration and the coaching panel, the players you recruit, the decisions the boards make. We've had such a strong, well-run club over, 140 years, whatever it was, 1864, Colo. So the trashing of the Carlton name, we've still got the best Guernsey in Australia. Simple, strong, the navy blues, and still the best. So that's part of it. You know, I can look at the 50 odd years I've been involved in since 1957 when I started. I mean, we had some wonderful older players that used to come to the club all the time, the Mick Crisps and the Jack Routs, the Soapy Valances and these sort of guys. And they used to indoctrinate the young kids about Carlton. And let's face it, in the VFL, the strongest clubs have always been Carlton, Collingwood, Essendon, possibly Richmond in the old days. To me, you know, they used to say, you know, whenever you played, particularly Collingwood in those days, you know, we've got to beat them because our record against them has been better. And in those days, I think we've now won 123 and they won 114, so we're still 9 ahead of them. With Essendon, we're still 8 ahead of them. So it's only simple little numbers, but it's the history of Carlton, which is important. And I think basically, I'm limited with time, and I think when the 60s got 64, 65, when to me, the revival of Carlton started, when George Harrison and his committee came in and Brass came, and we had a wonderful blend of older players, and we recruited so many wonderful new recruits from all over Australia. It was the start. And without separating things and winning the 68 grand final after 21 years was wonderful. 69, no good. 70, but in that era, I would like to, I made comments at the time that I believed in the 65, 6, 7, 8 era that Brass was probably the strongest influence on the club and playing. And I don't know whether Brett Ratton is here today, but the thing that we started in the 60s through Brass and what he learnt from Melbourne and his own ideas, I mean, the pressure we started to exert, you know, on the opposition and on ourselves, the pressure, the tackling, all the different things, the 1%ers and all the outnumbering opposition, that's something that we started to bring into our game, and as we got better at it, we got more successful. And this is what I think has been missing from Carlton in the last few years. Now, I don't know, you can't teach those things quickly, but to me, Carlton has been my life, it still is. And I know that without going through other premierships, I looked at the eras of the 50s and 60s and 70s, and when I was luckily successful in 72, I looked at my two great backers, and they're both here today, and I thank them and congratulate them for what they did to help me in Robert Walls and Alex Jesselenko. And I would like to think that, you know, Jezza, fantastic, the last captain coach probably ever in 79, and Wallsy coaching in his premiership year, and the role they've played and their love of Carlton, I think it's something that it was all part of our, you know, part of our group in those days. And obviously David Parkin in 81, 82, you know, and 95 again. But look, our brand name is so important to us that the Spirit of Carlton has tried to capture a lot of it. I think that our wonderful group of coteries and supporters, you know, we sometimes, because we've been trashed in the media, and because probably John Elliott and George Harris, when he was alive, they were arrogant and ruthless and probably over the top with our success. I was taught to be humble. You know, when you're winning, put your hand, shake your hands before and after the game, but you be humble and you don't, you know, you don't rub your opposition's noses into it. So these are the sort of things that got us into trouble, our lack of planning. And I think in our days, Brass, and in my days, Jazz's, Wallsy's, we've got to play the young kids because they are the ones that give them 20 or 30 games, good coaching, good learning off your teammates. That's our future, and that's what we're going through now. So I am tickled pink the way we're going. We've lost a few games I'm disappointed with, but I put that down to lack of experience, lack of game time, lack of just that knowledge of winning how we used to be able to win, coming from behind. 70 was just one game. I remember several games we came from 4 or 5 goals behind at three-quarter time and won because we had that belief in ourselves. But we knew that if we put more pressure on the opponents, we could bring them back and get back into it. This club has been around for a hell of a long time. And I said, I think the night that Robert Walls was coach of a premiership side, I said that night, this club is bigger than any of us. It'll be here when we're all gone. So it has been a great club, and I think that we're on the road back. We've got a long way to go, but stepping one thing at a time, we're probably 2 or 3 steps off that top ladder. But I'm sure, the next couple of years we'll be back there. Today is a celebration of the 70s. I am so proud to be part of that team with Brass. We've had 2 or 3 reunions this year, and to see the old faces, it's great. I'm sorry that my old sparring partner for a long, long time, Sergio, isn't here today. He's finally had the guts to get his knee fixed. The next thing is his heart. He's got heart fibrillation, but I guess that'll take another 5 years. But look, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honour to be a response to Brass and to Tim. I would wish you all well, and I know that these functions are going to keep on coming. We hope they get stronger and stronger because the efforts put in by Spirit of Carlton deserve success because they are, the guys, Swanee and Southby and these blokes are fantastic sellers, a lot of others too. They're great days, and it just helps us, to me, relive just what a team we have been. And as I said, in my 50-odd years, 8 premierships isn't bad. Essendon 6, Collingwood's 2, and the others are probably somewhere in the middle. So, can I ask you all, please, to be upstanding? I'm going to toast the 1970. Thank you. To Carlton and the 70 team. Have a good day.
Please thank John Nicholls, and a great delight to hear the great man speak here at the Spirit of Carlton Lunch.